If YouTube were to follow its own policies and rules, and if it were to act fairly, then they would ban Brian Tyler Cohen and David Pakman instantly.
In this video, we're back with Tim Pool and the gang at Timcast IRL. For a variety of reasons, Tim Pool suggests that Brian Tyler Cohen and David Pakman should be banned from YouTube. With that, let's watch Tim Pool annihilate the woke progressive left's idiotic commentators.
If YouTube were to follow its own policies and rules, and if it were to act fairly, then they would ban Brian Tyler Cohen and David Pakman instantly. Over the past 7 years, there have been serious scandals on YouTube pertaining to algorithmic manipulation of content. But something interesting happens when it overlaps with politics. YouTube gets scared to take down liberal politics, but has no problem taking down conservatives. There have been many individuals on YouTube who get flagged relentlessly and suspended and banned for their political opinions. Strangely, liberals never seem to, despite the fact that they seem to break all of the same rules that YouTube claims they're enforcing against. Notably, algorithmic manipulation of content. Recently, there was a big story about AI-generated Trump videos that were really weird. It was weird stories. One that went viral recently was that Carolyn Levitt was having a debate with someone and insulting a journalist. I can't remember exactly what. Someone fabricated this content. Now, admittedly, fabricating AI content is very different from attacking the algorithm with a singular content purpose. But I will tell you this. Without blowing up anybody privately, I know some comedians who got banned for focusing on one particular dark issue. It wasn't overtly political. It didn't break the rules explicitly, but YouTube said it broke the rules because it was promoting content that was detrimental to the audience. That is, in several instances, people for political reasons have been banned. Now, to be fair, I don't want David Pakman banned or Brian Tyler Cohen banned or Luke Beasley or many of these liberal personalities banned. I want them to express their opinions. But I do believe that YouTube should not allow this degree of algorithmic manipulation that these guys are engaged in. Of course, the challenge is because they're targeting Trump, they let it go. Take a look at this story from Wired. Dozens of YouTube channels are showing AI-generated cartoon gore and fetish content. Yep. They say a Wired investigation found that dozens of YouTube channels are using generative AI to depict cartoon cats and minions being beaten, starved, and sexualized, sparking fears of a new Elsa Gate wave. We covered this on Timcast IRL just a few days ago. We have this from Mashable. 2017. Spider-Man.
Now, anybody who watches this channel at all knows I'm probably the biggest critic of Brian Tyler Cohen and David Pakman. However, from what I've heard thus far, I don't agree with Tim that technically, if YouTube was following its own rules, Brian Tyler Cohen and David Pakman should be banned. And I'm glad he said at the end, I don't want them to be banned. He's just saying if YouTube applied their rules. But I consider myself a free speech absolutist, obviously within the confines of the First Amendment, because I think it's important to let everyone talk, because I think things will catch up with people who just talk out of their ass and they'll expose themselves for their agenda or for their lack of knowledge on topics or whatever. But I would love to hear from you guys in the comments, and maybe I'll learn more throughout the course of this video. But as of right now, do you guys see any similarities in these Spider-Man versus Elsa videos that I've never heard of, I don't know anything about, and Brian Tyler Cohen and David Pakman's content? I've got more to say about it, but let's get back to Tim.
Versus Elsa videos have taken over YouTube, and it's so confusing what is going on. You can see the videos were taken down. This is where things get interesting. If YouTube were to adhere to their own policies, they would ban Brian Tyler Cohen and David Pakman. Let me show you why. I know you guys are saying, Tim, you've been talking about this a lot, but I really do think we've got an Elsa Gate phenomenon going on with these political actors. Brian Tyler Cohen does have a big channel. Congratulations. He gets lots of views. He gets 200,000 on one video, 200 on this one, 400 on this one, 300, 100, 230, 500, a lot of views, big channel. He's often featured on the default front page for people who are not subscribed to his channel. Now, what do you notice? Let's go through his video. Trump, I'm sorry, Cory Booker. Trump, SCOTUS, Trump. You get the point. it looks like 9 out of 10 videos are literally just Trump humiliated, Trump White House rocked, major bad news for Trump and Republicans, Trump's worst nightmare, Trump appointed judge, Trump scorched earth. Oh yeah? What was ban-worthy about the Spider-Man Elsa videos? I'm going to say it again. These were videos where people would dress up like Spider-Man and people would dress up like Elsa and the Joker, and they'd run around. That's it. The reason YouTube started taking these things down was that it was taking over YouTube and destroying the experience. YouTube had no problem saying, well, you're not explicitly breaking the rules as we've defined them, you're violating the spirit of YouTube by spam blasting the same thing over and over and over again. Here's David Pakman. Trump, disoriented Trump. This is like the third time I've shown you this stuff. But going over the new ElsaGate phenomenon, when I saw this story from Wired, I couldn't help but realize ElsaGate isn't the only thing. Back in 2017, what I noticed was the reason we can call out these videos like this one. This is from a channel called Toys in Japan. The original videos were all deleted, but they did try to re-upload them and they failed. Why? YouTube stopped allowing it. So this video.
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
But when I look at David Pakman and Brian Tyler Cohen explicitly, it's clear they're manipulating the algorithm by creating a political version of ElsaGate. That's it. They are feeding the machine anti-Trump content and nothing else. What's the difference? Honestly, tell me, because I can understand political. Spider-Man versus Elsa videos taking over YouTube. What's YouTube going to do? Well, I'll tell you what they did. They stopped allowing these videos. These videos have been removed for violating YouTube's terms of service. Hold on. What? Yo, these were videos of people running around doing children's gags dressed as Spider-Man, Elsa, and Joker. Some of them were weird, like Joker had a giant syringe and he'd chase around Elsa and like pump it at her, but nothing was explicitly breaking the rules for the most part.
So yeah, I'm not defending Brian Tyler Cohen or David Pakman, but I still just don't think I'm quite on board with what Tim's saying thus far. He says they're manipulating the algorithm by spamming Trump stuff. I don't see a problem with spamming Trump stuff other than, is it really a channel you want to get your news from or political opinions from if that's all? If all every video is about is a picture of Trump and then something negative? I mean, because if you look at Tim Pool's list of videos, or you look at Benny Johnson's list of videos, or any other conservative commentators, each video is on a very up-to-date story of what's going on in the world politically, socially, whatever. So when I see all Trump videos, it seems very amateurish, like someone who just got into YouTube. And advice I'd give someone getting into YouTube, specifically in the political commentary area, is, you put your videos out and it's probably going slow for a while. And then let's say 1 or 2 videos blow up. Well, it's just good common sense and good practice to follow those videos up with similar figures in them. If you did a video about someone owning David Pakman in a debate and that one just blew up compared to all your other videos, well, I'd follow that up immediately with David Pakman losing in a different debate. To me, that's just giving the algorithm what it's looking for at that point in time, because it's ever changing. Because when you do that, the algorithm's eventually not looking for that anymore. And then you got to kind of just throw stuff out there again and see which videos it does seem like it's looking for, and the ones that are having success versus the ones that aren't. And so I see that as just kind of riding a wave to get as many views and subs as you can when you're a new YouTuber, until it kind of fizzles out, and then you look for the next wave. The problem is these guys have enormous audiences that are going to watch them regardless. I can't believe that, but it's true. So the only reason I would think that you're just spamming Trump and then something negative with a picture of Trump in the thumbnail is to get more subscribers and viewers, which ultimately earns them more money, right? No problem with that. Other than I've seen these progressive hosts act like right-wing commentators are all grifters and they care about more about money than, the actual information they're providing. But like I said, the way I interpret the type of videos that these guys are putting out would suggest it's purely about making more money. Because if it wasn't, the topics would be all over the place, because guys like Tim and other conservative commentators are covering like what's happening right now. And Trump's in the news a lot. He might be mentioned in a story a lot, but he's not the headline for every single story. So I don't think they need to be banned. I don't even think it's algorithmic manipulation. Like I said, the only way I could describe it is finding a successful formula for what the algorithm wants and creating videos like that. But that's not how you run an actual news channel. So who the hell would get their news from them? You run a news channel based on what's going on, not, hey, how can I get the most views? I hope that makes sense. Anyway, let's wrap up.
Look at this one. They say the trend shows no sign of slowing. Channels including Beeble TV, Superheroes IRL, churn out video, almost one video a week, meaning titles like Double Pregnant Frozen Elsa versus Doctor, Spider-Man versus Joker, Maleficent Hulk Baby. You can say they took these down because they were trying to game the algorithm. What's the difference? Dude, come on. Brian Tyler Cohen is not making a news show. He's just Elsa-gating Trump. He's found a way to manipulate this the same as they were doing. The titles are all designed to game the algorithm. Trump scorched earth shocking, Trump Latino support collapses, Trump fresh blow disaster update. It's literally all just Trump news. The joke we made the other day is,
Yeah, of everything Tim said, I think that's the best point. They're not doing a news show. I've always said, who the hell would get their news from these people? Just because I think they don't know what they're talking about and they're liars. But this is even more reason to ask that question. Why would you get your news from these people when it's clear they're not doing a news show? It's just a rip Trump show and try to attract a lot of people that don't like Donald Trump to my channel. So that's not necessarily just reporting the news. But let me know what you guys think. Am I missing something here? Do you think there actually is something there that YouTube would have cause to ban these channels? And again, I don't think they should, but I'm really curious to hear your comments. Let us know. Anyway, as always, really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.